Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone so much for joining today's webinar on teaching MiddleGalaxy. My name is Laura Guggen. I'm Senior Partnerships Coordinator here at Texas OnCourse. I have a college and career and counseling background, and here on our staff I work with our middle school campuses and districts on their implementation of the middle school curriculum guide and also with the academy resources. So during this webinar, we want to give you a tour of our career exploration game, MiddleGalaxy, provide tips for implementing the game in the classroom, and also walk you through what it's like to play the game as a student. We'll also save time at the end of our webinar for discussion and answer questions about how the game works. So first, just to tell you a little bit about us, Texas OnCourse is a state-funded initiative to help all Texas students, no matter where they come from or where they're headed, to have a plan for what's next after high school. Our free resources for students, families, and educators equip students with the tools and information they need to make informed decisions about life after college. Texas OnCourse is led by UT Austin in collaboration with TEA, the Higher Ed Coordinating Board, and the Workforce Commission. So here's our website. You can access all of our free resources from our webpage. And today we'll be talking about MiddleGalaxy, which is a space-themed career exploration game designed specifically for middle schoolers to make career and college exploration accessible and fun. You and your students can access MiddleGalaxy directly from our homepage or also by opening up the tools menu from any page on our website. So you can see the tools bar right there has all of our resources, and you can check any of those from the tools bar, and we add to that frequently. You can also access the game directly at middlegalaxy.org. MiddleGalaxy can be played on all web browsers, although it's optimized for Google Chrome. It's also available for download as an app on both Apple and Android phones. So by playing MiddleGalaxy, your students learn about a variety of in-demand Texas careers, together with the knowledge and skills required to succeed. MiddleGalaxy helps you as an educator facilitate conversations and lessons with students about making academic choices based on their career goals. As the first game of its kind, MiddleGalaxy is a collaboration between the University of Texas, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and the Institute for Applied Neuroscience. So here's kind of the agenda for our webinar today and the topics that we plan to cover. First, we want to go over using MiddleGalaxy as an educator, including how to manage your classes that use the game. Most of our webinar will be focused on the student experience, including setting up a student account, objectives of the game, gameplay itself, and using the game in the classroom. Following the webinar, as a teacher or educator, you should be able to answer student questions about how to help students maximize their career exploration learning. So before we dive in, I want to highlight our brand new middle school curriculum guide, which is in its second edition. The guide is aligned to the TEKS for investigating careers and also college and career readiness at the middle school level. It includes a handful of lesson plans that integrate MiddleGalaxy Play, and we'll explore those later on in the webinar. The appendix also includes an educator game guide that's very helpful for playing and teaching MiddleGalaxy. As an educator, we know you'll be guiding students through career exploration as they play the game. So we highly recommend that you get yourself set up on MiddleGalaxy before assigning the game to your students. This includes generating class codes for each of your classes so that you can track your students' progress within the game. You'll access MiddleGalaxy through our educator dashboard in the Texas OnCourse Academy. If you already have an account within the Academy, you'll use that same login information. If you don't, you'll need to create one, and it's free. You can do that in one of two ways. You can either sign up by accessing the Academy on our website as pictured here. Click Educator Login to access the login page or create an account. Or you can just create an educator account at middlegalaxy.org. Just click Create Account. Then you'll click I'm an Educator, shown here, and you'll get this prompt. Click Create Account if you don't already have one. Either way, you'll end up on the same page. Create your account or go ahead and log in. So here you are in the Texas OnCourse Academy dashboard. Here we want to point out that by registering for a free account in the Academy, you'll also have access to our college and career professional development platform shown here with all of our learning modules. Scroll down to access the MiddleGalaxy dashboard on the bottom right of your screen. In the MiddleGalaxy dashboard, you'll be able to view all of your students' progress. First, you'll want to create a class code to view your student profiles. Your students will show this unique code when they create accounts with MiddleGalaxy, and you'll then be able to see each individual's progress. To generate a class code, click the Create button. That will bring you to this screen where you'll click New Code. You'll provide the code that's generated to the students in your class when they sign up for MiddleGalaxy. You can have multiple codes if you have multiple classes. You can see multiple codes at the top of the dashboard here. If you think your data isn't quite up to date, make sure to hit the green refresh button and your current student progress should be shown on the screen. Click on the code to open up your classroom-specific dashboard. This will bring up a list of the students who use that code to sign up for MiddleGalaxy. You'll be able to see their progress, including the email they used, which is helpful if they forget, missions and games completed, and time spent playing the game. As a reminder, in order to access the information, you need to have students register with the correct class code. So now let's take a look at what the student experience is like when they play MiddleGalaxy. Students will log in at www.middlegalaxy.org. Students should first register for an account via a computer by clicking Create Account on this screen. They can also later download the app to a smartphone in the iOS and Android app stores. When you're getting started with students, we recommend that you provide time and instruction for students to complete their profile, activate their account through email, and also complete the tutorial game. Once selecting Create Account, they'll indicate that they're a student. Here's where they enter that class code that you generated for them. While we encourage you to use class codes as an educator, it is not essential for students to use to play the game. They will need to create a student profile and password, and a personal email address is required. If your district has any issues with emails being blocked, please contact us directly and we'll get it handled for you. Please make sure students use a current email, as they will receive an activation prompt in that email so that they can begin their gameplay. They can play through the game once without using an activation code. MiddleGalaxy has music that automatically plays, so to minimize the noise in your classroom, your students should log in with their volumes at 0 or by using headphones. If you have students who may be distracted by the music, they can turn it off once they've logged in by clicking in Settings in the upper left-hand corner, then clicking Sound Effects and Music, and then Mute. Note that the music will turn back on if students let the game go idle in the background. So again, we recommend using headphones if you'd like to minimize sound or distractions. So once logged in, students can also access the Help menu by clicking on the top right where you see the question mark. Here, you or your students can find a tutorial, help, and also frequently asked questions. The tutorial is a great way to get the students oriented on how the game board works, and students can always revisit the tutorial feature. So let's talk a little bit about the objectives of MiddleGalaxy and the overall purpose. So students are settling a new area of space called MiddleGalaxy. There's a series of missions that students must complete by assigning cadets to fulfill the mission's required number of skills and abilities. Missions include projects such as building a computer network, building a suspension bridge, or establishing a school. The first objective is that students build problem-solving skills by becoming a captain of a space squad of cadets. You can see the captain here, one of the captains that they can pick from. A second objective is for students to learn the skills and abilities needed to complete missions that connect to the endorsements in the state of Texas. A third objective of the MiddleGalaxy game is for students to gain valuable career knowledge by matching career profiles to the appropriate mission and discover what piques their interests and how they may look ahead toward the future when planning for endorsements in high school. Our hope is that students learn about careers that may be totally new to them and enhance their level of awareness of a variety of different careers through gameplay. So playing the game, we get a lot of questions on things like this, like how do you win, what is a good score, and how do you earn points? MiddleGalaxy features 28 different missions. It takes about 30 minutes to play one game, which consists of completing 10 missions. Students can always log out and their game progress will be saved in the system. Here's the MiddleGalaxy game board. Across the top are the missions: set up a computer network, transport construction materials, and medical screenings. Along the bottom are the game cards. We call them cadet cards. Students match the cadet cards to each mission based on the skills and abilities of the cadet. Students work on 3 different missions at one time, and they complete 10 missions in each game. Educators can encourage students to click on each cadet card to research and learn about the cadet, to get to know the job description, duties, and important skills needed for a career. Here's several different careers that we have in the cadets. So for example, here's Zoya, an electrician. You can see on the right the different abilities and skills needed for Zoya to be an electrician. And then also on the far right, a little bit of detail on what electricians do, install, test, and repair electrical systems, and how a student might be a good match. Each cadet card has information the student should use to play the card based on their skills and abilities. There's approximately 100 career cadets in the game. The career cadets in MiddleGalaxy also reflect Texas workforce job trends. Each mission requires certain skills and abilities that different cadets have. Here's the key for the 5 different skills. For example, the center mission here is Alien Species Survey Mission. So it requires a math and science skill level of a 3, shown by the red beaker, as well as a cadet with athletic ability. Using the field biologist cadet card would be a good move here because this cadet has a math and science skill level of 2, as well as athletic ability. Students should play cadet cards based on whether given missions are related to their profession. However, students are able to play cadet cards on any mission that requires the ability or skills listed on the card. For example, the medical assistant, shown here, is the ideal cadet for a mission like Counsel Homesick Cadets because they have the ability to be communicative and the skills match with both arts and humanities and social and leadership. The Counselor Cadet card is also a very close match for this mission with a skill level of 2 for social and leadership and is also communicative. The Security Officer or Physical Therapist cards would work toward completing the mission, but are not quite as good of a match. Students accumulate points by matching career cadet cards with missions. Placing a cadet on a mission that doesn't require their skills or abilities results in 0 points. The closer a cadet matches the mission, the more points are awarded. Matching cadets to their ideal mission is worth 250 points. Completing each mission nets 100 points. Students also receive knowledge boost cards, like the computer systems class card seen here to the right. Students can give their cadets already assigned to missions additional skills by using these cards. For example, a good move in this game would be to apply the knowledge boost card to the cadet above in alien species survey mission. That would boost her math and science skill level from a 2 to a 3. Knowledge boost cards can be shuffled or also kept when new cards are drawn. Each knowledge boost matched to a mission gains 10 points. Another example would be if a cadet has the ability dexterous and the mission the cadet is assigned to requires the ability organized. A knowledge boost card can be used to give that cadet the ability organized. Students also have a couple of other options as they play. Students can trade any of their cadets for different cards by clicking Draw Cards. They can shuffle the cards, discarding the ones they don't need or replacing the cards they've already used. They can keep trading until they've picked cadets that all have the skills needed to complete the missions. They can also utilize a captain's action. During each game, students are given 3 captain's actions: mentor, retrain, and collaborate, that can be used once per 10-mission game. These captain's actions allow the player additional ways to complete a mission. Career cadets can be given new abilities or skills, and certain skills can be converted to a different category. The mentor action provides an extra skill to a cadet. The retrain action converts one cadet's skill score to another category. The collaborate action gives a cadet a new ability from another cadet in play, and vice versa. Once a mission is complete, a bonus round allows a player to assign 3 career cadet cards to tasks within the completed mission. If a student assigns a cadet to the correct task, they will earn 10 points. So you can see here the electrician was assigned to the task, repair electrical connections, which is a correct match, and the student earns 10 points. If a player successfully matches all 3 cadet cards to their ideal task within the bonus round, then they receive a token. After completing a full game of 10 missions, players can elect to use the tokens to unlock cadet cards. Tokens reveal cadets' ideal missions and tasks. By placing tokens earned on a specific cadet card, that cadet's ideal mission and tasks are unlocked and remain visible. Here's an example of what it looks like when a student unlocks a cadet card. Tokens carry over from game to game, and once unlocked, cadet cards stay unlocked for the player who unlocked them. You can see here the legal assistant cadet has been unlocked for this player. Cadet cards that have been unlocked appear at the bottom with a bright yellow border and a star when they are drawn in future games. For example, here is an unlocked card, Medical Assistant, in the gameplay. During gameplay, when a student clicks to view an unlocked cadet card, they can view that cadet's ideal mission tasks. This helps students connect job descriptions and their best fit, otherwise known as their ideal mission, and use the knowledge while they play. So let's talk a little bit about how educators can use MiddleGalaxy in classroom activities and also in lesson planning. In our middle school curriculum guide, we have 3 main lessons and also an extension activity that incorporate MiddleGalaxy gameplay. Many of you have downloaded our 2nd edition of the guide from our website, and if you haven't, you can access the guide from our webpage. So I know this is a lot of text and you don't have to read all of this, but this is something that's really helpful at the beginning of our curriculum guide. We have a suggested implementation plan, which is shown here, which essentially provides a scope and sequence of implementation while providing an educator flexibility in instruction. So teachers can certainly change the order of lessons and in which they would like to teach our units. However, we have created the lessons so that they build upon one another in a way that makes sense for student growth. And the implementation plan also provides a quick synopsis, you can see here, of each lesson and which can be a helpful reference for educators when teaching from the curriculum guide. A great way to introduce the game is by using MiddleGalaxy as an extension activity in Unit 1, Lesson 1, which is called Who Am I? This is a great place for them to play the game as a class. After students register and log in for the first time, Lesson 1 guides students to begin some self-reflection on their own personal interests and passions. They create a vision board for their career interests, and then they can continue to add to the vision board as they learn new concepts about careers that they are interested in throughout the unit. After spending some time playing MiddleGalaxy, students are encouraged to find a cadet that has similar interests as them and also add it to their vision board. So as an example here, a student may choose to add the architect profile if they're interested in designing, drawing, drafting, or overseeing construction as part of their career interest. So here's an example of lesson 1.3, taking a deep dive into my preferred career clusters. And this is on page 14 of the curriculum guide, and it includes gameplay into the topic of career clusters. So once a student identifies a cluster and a program of study that they might be interested in, they can also do the same for the career cadets that they've used in playing MiddleGalaxy. So this can be done using discussion as a class, a pair and share activity, or simply as a written activity where students can share and review responses. Not only does it promote their own career exploration, but it can be used in a classroom format to learn about the career goals of their classmates. In Unit 2, Lesson 1.3, which is on page 64 of the curriculum guide, this lesson incorporates a space journal, which is shown here, where students investigate one or more careers within the 16 career clusters. This helps the student identify several different career opportunities and also describe the skills and abilities needed for that career. So this also covers some of the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills areas that are required in the middle school grades. Another activity that incorporates MiddleGalaxy is in Unit 2, which is called the Bonus Round Bonanza. This can be found on page 101 to 104 in the guide. Students are working on managing life skills throughout this unit, and after experiencing a fair amount of career exploration through gameplay, students identify how they manage a mission as a team and utilize the ideal cadets from that game. Students think back to the problem-solving skills that they used, gaining points and matching cadets when they were working on those missions. This activity can also be used to facilitate role play, group work, and also discussion about how they each play the game a little bit differently. This lesson also focuses more on the soft skills that students have practiced within the unit, things like conflict management, teamwork, and also communication. This is an example of our appendix. The appendix in the curriculum guide includes a MiddleGalaxy Educator game guide, which includes a lot of the information that we've covered here in the webinar. And this is a great reference tool to have while you're teaching the game. If students or you have questions about objectives or gameplay or logging in. So we've covered a lot of information on MiddleGalaxy. We wanted to make a couple of announcements on some things that are coming up. The first one is Map My Grad. We have had a lot of interest in the Map My Grad resource, and so we're going to have a webinar similar to this one on February 7th, 2019 at 2 p.m. And we'll also have a monthly webinar, Teaching and Advising Career Pathways, on February 5th. We also just want to let you know that our application is currently open right now for the third cohort of Leader Fellows. And we have some announcements also on our website on office hours through Twitter. And so you can find all of those things on our homepage, and also if you've signed up for our newsletter and you receive our updates. So this is a great way to stay connected. If you just go to our newsletter sign up, I know a lot of you already receive it. And then also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. There's our information right there. And so I think now we'll just open it up for questions. We have some Texas OnCourse staff that's on the webinar to help us field any questions. But we will go back and see if anyone has typed any and just open it up. Has today's webinar been recorded, was the question. Yes, it has. I hope everyone can still hear me. And everyone that has registered for the webinar, whether they were able to join us live or not, will receive it. And we'll also post the webinar on our website. Yes, perfect. You're welcome. Another question, who do I contact about our district not allowing use of email for students? So my first answer to that is to talk to your district technology folks, honestly, because we definitely right now use email for students to activate their login for MiddleGalaxy. And also if, Manuel, we can certainly connect offline, and we can also talk to your technology department as well and make sure that all of our resources are accessible to your district. Yes, sounds like a plan. Any other questions? I'm going to go ahead and put my email in here. It was not in the slides. You can also find me on our homepage, but there's my email for anybody that needs to answer any follow-up questions or technical questions. I would say too, since we're all still on the webinar, I would love to hear how the gameplay is going and the implementation of the curriculum guide. I work directly with the schools and the campuses and also our fellows. So, you know, we're doing a lot of implementation right now at the middle school level. So if you want to shoot me an email, answer any questions, or let me know, you know, what courses you're working with, I'm definitely interested to know that information. Okay, another question that popped up. What happens if one of my students transfers from another class who uses MiddleGalaxy? Will I need their old code? That right now is a question that I think I'll have to ask our support team on, because I don't know how to transfer. I don't know how to move a single student from one code to another, but I will find that out. Oh, here's Willem. So Willem mentioned he's our project manager for MiddleGalaxy, and he mentioned if you want to monitor new progress, you can give them a new class code. A teacher cannot use codes that they have not created currently. Any other questions about gameplay or class codes or anything like that? Great. We did end a little bit early. We allowed for a full hour for this webinar, and we did record it. So I'm going to stay on for 5 more minutes to answer any questions that pop up. Here's one. So is there anything that can be taken as a grade? Jackie, can you elaborate? Like, do you mean like student assignments and things like that? So it looks like she might still be typing, but I would say we didn't include any specifics on assignments or grading. The curriculum guide just contains lessons, and that's up to the educator on how you want to implement that. And Jamie Bell, who's worked on our curriculum guide, said assessments are available. Jamie, you are unmuted, but I'm going to go ahead and read your response anyway, but there's multiple choice as well as performance assessments. Sorry, we can't hear you, Jamie. I'm trying to make sure you're muted, but we're just having an issue with audio. But I'm gonna. There
Can
you
hear
are.
me? Yeah,
I
wasn't talking. I was just going to say, yeah, there are multiple choice questions for every unit as well as performance assessments at the end of each unit. And as far as daily grades go, you can always decide to grade an aspect of their student activity sheet, or but no specific rubrics for daily grades or anything like that.
Thank you, Jamie. Perfect. Other questions?
As far as knowledge checks and checks for understanding, a lot of the lessons have closure sections where there are exit cards and more formative type of assessments, but those don't necessarily have to be graded. But checks for understanding are included in most of the lessons.
Perfect. Well, if that is all the questions that we have, we can go ahead and end the webinar. I hope you'll join us for future webinars. Thank you very much. I know how busy you all are at this time of year, whether you're at a middle school or a high school or a campus or region service center. So thank you for your support, and we will be in touch. We will send out a recording within a couple of days. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day.